Usually I don't know when I'm going live, but we should be live right now. Our audio should be good. I'm hoping. Um, so I see we're live over here. Yeah, just a little late night horror talk. All this. I think I'll just start off the live talking about the M Night Shyamalan movie that I just saw yesterday. All right, we have to turn down this volume. Yeah, so we're gonna just talk about the M Night Shyamalan movie, Knock at the Cabin, but we can also talk about other horror stuff. Anything I want to talk about. We'll be here for like 30 minutes or so. I didn't do a live this morning. I wanted to do one. Time. That's the thing. Got a better time management is something that I had for my New Year's resolutions, and so that's something I got to work on. But not knock, Night at the Cabin. Knock at the Cabin. Night at the Cabin is a good horror film title if anybody wants to use it as well, though. But Knock at the Cabin. So I already did a review for this movie. I will have a spoiler-filled video for this movie tomorrow because I do want to get into a lot of spoilers for the movie. So that will be tomorrow. You can check that out. But here we're just going to discuss Knock at the Cabin a little bit more in depth, a little bit of a different like video than my review. So let's just get right into it. This will become a video after, so if you're watching it after, make sure you turn that notification bell on so you know when these lives go live so you can join the live and chat in the chat. But let's talk about Knock at the Cabin, which is M. Night Shyamalan's latest film. Now, I myself have not watched Old, which was his previous film before this one, and I've heard mixed things about it. I do want to check it out. I just want to see what all of the talk is about, because I myself am somebody who think M. Night Shyamalan is somebody who has done some pretty good movies. And although there may be some missteps here and there in some people's eyes, I still think he is fairly consistent when it comes to movie making. And Knock at the Cabin is definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite in my Shyamalan movie. It is very divisive. If you see on Twitter, if you see on TikTok, Instagram, wherever you catch your movie news, hopefully it's here on YouTube with me. But there is a lot of divisiveness with this movie, and I can see why, but at the same time, I don't want to understand because I don't. So Knock at the Cabin was one of those movies that I was already like gonna go see. As soon as I saw that first trailer, heard the premise and everything, it just sounded like the movie I needed to go see. And when I saw Dave Bautista was in it as well, I was even more like set on going. I think Dave Bautista is one of those actors that is slowly climbing up the ladder, and a lot of people I feel are overlooking him, and he's going to come and surprise so many people. And especially in this movie, I think he does an exceptional job at portraying a character so complex and so riddled with like his character is such a tragic character at its core, Leonard, and I think he does an incredible job at really portraying somebody who is both terrifying to the family, but also sort of feel bad for him while you're watching as the viewer, as you know that he is having this intense feeling of guilt and tragicness to his character. And I really did enjoy that the movie handled that very well. You have him with three other strangers here, and let me get the cast up right here if we're going to be talking about the movie, because I don't want to be messing up people's names at all here. But Knock at the Cabin is definitely a movie I recommend watching. I did have a lot of fun with it, and it is a movie that's going to get you in the feels. So you do have Nikki Amuka Bird here, who plays Sabrina. You have Abby Quinn, who plays Ardiane. I was saying Adrian in my video. Sorry. And you have Rupert Grint, who plays Redmond. And I think all of these people here played a great like ensemble together. They are all these very different, very tragic characters, and they all did such an exceptional job at bringing them to life. Because at the same time, they can feel kind of cartoony, I feel, especially for their reasonings and how they act. But these characters were able to do something very incredible here. And I think also the fact that you have M. Night Shyamalan here directing these very interesting shots of them, because there's moments in this movie where there is extreme close-ups. A lot of this movie relies on just the facial features and just how they're able to move their face, the tears in their eyes, things like that. And I think that these actors do a good job at doing this very unorthodox like shoot here. And these four definitely are ones that I think deserve a lot of praise. Not just them four, of course, because I think that the couple as well as the child did a great job. Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, who play the couple here, had such great chemistry throughout, and there's moments in this movie where you see the relationship and how it came to be, and I thought those were some of the more heavier moments as well, especially when you go back to the reality of what's going on in the movie, and you just keep going back and forth, and it is definitely something that just ultimately breaks your heart, I feel, as you see where these characters started off and the current situation they're facing. I really enjoy this movie as well. I think it is M. Night Shyamalan's best looking film. The color palettes and everything here works so well. Apparently he used older cameras because he wanted to have this fuzzy, almost fairy tale like look to the film, he said, and it definitely comes across it, and I do think that it makes sense what he wanted to do with this film, and just the feeling he wanted it to have as well. I will say for an R-rated film, it felt more PG-13. There's a lot of times that the violence is sort of like shied away. The camera moves in another direction, all of this. And I thought to myself, this is rated PG-13 when I watched it. But then I went back home when I was doing the review and everything and getting posters and pictures and things like that. No, it's rated PR. So I do think that it has a lot to do with the sort of like context of the movie and what they discuss and all of that. That could make it an R-rated film. But as I said, I think the violence is very toned down. And I feel like it definitely takes away a bit when the violence is toned down, especially due to the context of the movie and everything it's handling. It's already pretty heavy, so I feel like showing that definitely could have made a little bit more of a damn, this is really happening feeling, you know. Although I will say it is very effective what they do, but I was just like confused that it was rated R because there's a lot of the violence that's shied away. But you know, that's a whole other thing I want to talk about in my video tomorrow with spoilers. But overall, I think Knock at the Cabin is going to be an interesting movie for sure once it's released to audiences. I know critics, from what I've seen, people, mutuals and all of that on Twitter, it's a hit or a miss, and I understand both sides, but like I said, to me, it is a hit. I really do think M. Night Shyamalan is here with his strongest film in a long time, maybe since Signs, and I'll take it. I'll take this movie because I think it does something very well, and I'm excited to see where M. Night Shyamalan goes from here. Apparently, he says he's working on 3 movies already that he's excited to tell the story for, and I'm just saying it. After Knock at the Cabin, I'm ready to see whatever M. Night has cooked up for us because I think he is somebody who can deliver, and I think he is going to deliver it right. But very excited. If you're watching Knock at the Cabin, let me know in the comments or in the chat. I'm curious to see how many people are going to be watching this. Apparently, it's supposed to dethrone Avatar. We'll see how it does. 80 for Brady's coming out this weekend as well. I have not watched that. I'm kind of curious about that though, because if you didn't hear, Tom Brady retired this week, and of course 80 for Brady deals with Tom Brady. So I'm curious to see how that marketing's going to go for the film now, and if they had anything planned with it for sure. But 80 for Brady, Knock at the Cabin seems like a very good weekend indeed for movies, and we're here to see how it does. Of course, we still have a ton of stuff in February coming out. We have the Bear movie. I don't say the other name because YouTube likes to be very funny with those things. But let me see what else is coming out in February. I know we have Scream in March 2023, of course. Duh, we're in 2023. But yeah, February we have the Bear movie coming out. And I think we also have the Winnie the Pooh horror film, which I am trying to get a screener for, so I can definitely talk about it with y'all here on the channel. So yeah, we have Magic Mike's Last Dance coming out. Then we do have, let's see, what else do we have? Emma and the Wasp, Quantumania. We do have the Bear movie, of course, and yeah, those are definitely the biggest movies coming out in February. So February feels a little light, but we're here for it. We're excited for it, and I think definitely Knock at the Cabin might be the bigger February release of the month. But like I said, it is definitely a movie I recommend, especially if you want a mystery, a good thrill. It keeps you guessing until the end. It's an edge of your seat type movie where you're just like wondering, are these people telling the truth or not? Because these 4 strangers, imagine they just come into your room, into your house, whatever, and they're just like, you have to choose to kill one of your family members, and you have to kill them, make the sacrifice yourself. And if you do that, then the world won't end. If you don't do that, then the world ends. So it's just like, why would I believe these 4 strangers, right? So it definitely puts a very interesting predicament and a different feel to this movie when you have this like very, very interesting like dilemma brought up to you that you never really hear about. And so it is based on a book, The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I have not read the book. I do want to look into it just to see the differences in the movie and the book. Probably will have a video on that by the end of the week, but tomorrow I will have a spoiler video on the movie itself. But I'm excited for this movie and see how it does at the box office, because I think it is definitely one of those movies that is going to be like it's slow. Like I feel like this one's gonna be a lot of word of mouth, especially with its ending. I think it has a great ending, and I think that it definitely leaves you wondering as well, which is something I thought about watching this movie. I know M. Night Shyamalan is known as the king of twist, and I won't say if it has a twist or not, but I will say that is one thing you take into consideration when you watch this movie. Is you're just like, are these people telling the truth or not, or is there something else really going on? Like, will the world really end if this family doesn't make the choice? It is a very much so movie that has you on the edge of your seat. It is very emotional as well, I will say, which surprised me a lot. And I've been saying it, Dave Bautista in this is best, like his best I think that we've ever seen him in. And this makes me wonder if Dave Bautista is definitely almost close to that sort of like role that's going to take him to an Oscar nomination. And I'm not even just like saying it just to say it. I do think he does such an exceptional job here that I can see him getting one more role closer, maybe till next year, where he is definitely on that table as a close, if not an Oscar nomination for sure, because the way his character Leonard is just like insane. Like he's able to have these different emotions throughout the film, and like I said, there's a lot of close-ups of all of the actors where you just like see just this part of their face, and his character in particular has a lot of these moments, and I think he conveys the emotions perfectly throughout. Everybody else involved in here as well, like I said, Rupert Grint, Nikki Amuka Bird, and Abby Quinn are the other strangers that come into the house, and they do an exceptional job as well. All of them are very believable. You really start to feel for all of these characters as you see all of them thinking in their mind, in their heart, this is true. Like if they don't have this family make a sacrifice, the whole world is going to end. Hey man, thank you again for donating. I saw you did the donation and everything, so just wanted to thank you for that. And yeah, this movie does give you answers. I will say that, which I found very different from a lot of the M. Night movies, where it's usually like, wait, what was really going on? I will say this is a very straightforward movie by the end of it. You definitely get all of your answers at the end, and that was one thing that took me by surprise. And like I was saying, like usually M. Night, you go in thinking there's going to be a twist, there's going to be something going on, but I feel like this is his most straightforward movie ever, and there is definitely a resolution at the end, which I thought was very interesting. So yeah, this one's definitely going to be just like that. Yeah, but thank you again. Appreciate you so much for that. But yeah, Knock at the Cabin, like it surprised me honestly, the way that these characters were so moving, all of them, because you think of these strangers as just like these like villains and all of this when you see the trailer, but when you start seeing the movie and everything, and they start talking about their own lives and their own experiences, you start to sort of feel for them as well, which was something I didn't expect to happen from the movie. Something that really threw me by surprise. Oh yeah, I saw that the Patreon as well. Yeah, I'm gonna be making a video explaining how that's gonna work. Probably by the end of the week. But yeah, that I'm gonna be making a video explaining all of that for sure. Because I should have covered all of that in the Patreon video. But I will be making a video on that this week explaining how that's gonna work. So yeah, thank you again for all of that. I really appreciate you. Goes a long way, and yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, it's a movie that's gonna surprise I think a lot of people, and I feel like it definitely, depending on how you feel about it, might be like either love it or hate it. But I think it is definitely a very interesting movie. A lot of the shots and everything are just like interesting. It's more like I would say a thriller than a horror, but it does feel a little bit like an apocalypse horror movie at the same time as well. But I enjoyed it so much. Hey Jeffrey, how you doing tonight? But yeah, I did enjoy Knock at the Cabin. I thought it was great, and I think that 2023 has just been off to a good start with horror. Like we got Megan back in January. We got now Knock at the Cabin. I don't know if we could count the Bear movie that's coming out in February as a horror, but I do think it feels like a comedy horror, right? I can't say the first part of the title because YouTube likes to be funny with this, and that's like our next big horror in February, I feel. But this is definitely like M. Night's best looking film for sure. Like I said, the color palette's everything. All the acting is great here, even from the little girl as well in the movie. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna do once it releases in the box office and everything. And then, of course, we have Scream. We're looking forward to come March, which is one of those movies that I think is going to be very interesting. I think that it's getting a lot more hype than Scream 5. I think especially because Jenna Ortega has grown as a like actress, and the appeal for her and the popularity for her has for sure grown a lot too. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do with Scream 6. And I do want to make some more Scream 6 videos. Probably have one tomorrow planned out as well, and also my spoiler talk about Knock at the Cabin. Yeah, Knock at the Cabin. I think if you enjoy M. Night's movies, if you enjoy a movie that's full of mystery and just keeping you guessing to the end, because throughout the whole movie you're just there thinking, are these people telling the truth? Is there really an apocalypse gonna happen? And is this family really needing to make a sacrifice? And it does make you like doubt yourself at times. Like at first you're just like, they're lying, and then you're like, wait, they're not lying, and then you're like, or are they lying? So I really did enjoy the movie, just have you having this back and forth with yourself. And like I said, the performances are really good from everybody involved here. Especially the standout to me was Dave Bautista. He was able to convey such many emotions you never have really seen Batista pull off, I think, in a single movie. And I'm excited to see where he goes from here, because I didn't expect the movie to be as emotional and as touching as it actually was. I was just expecting a simple thriller, and that was it, but I didn't expect all of the emotions that it was going to have. So I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The crowd I was with was loving it for the most part, all of it. I did, walking out here, a couple of people say they didn't like it or anything like that, but for the most part, I think most people did enjoy it for what it was. So I'm curious to see how it will do once it does release and more people get to see it. And I will be talking more spoilers tomorrow, so if you're somebody who doesn't care about spoilers and want to know a little bit more about it, I will be doing that video tomorrow. I know some people do like to watch spoiler videos before they go watch the movie, just to know what they're getting into. That's me. I also don't like spoilers are a little bit of a big thing for me, but not really, especially if I'm on the fence of something. I want to know what I'm getting into, so I'll be having that spoiler video tomorrow around 3 p.m. for sure, talking more about the movie and all of that. Yeah, Dave Bautista really has been getting like these better, bigger roles, and I'm excited for him. I do love him as well. Seeing where he goes, his career and everything. I'm excited for him, where he's going now. But yeah, I'm excited for Knock at the Cabin to release. Ready to see how it does overall. I haven't watched the last M. Night Shyamalan movie, and I do want to get into it, which is Old, and see what it's all about. Yeah, Rupert Grint, I love him in Servant. He's always making me laugh. I do have to catch up on the Servant episodes. I got a little behind, so I do want to catch up on those and probably have a video out for the next episode tomorrow, and then try to get back on schedule with releasing those right after they come out. But Rupert Grint is great in this as well. I think that he's another actor who is slowly coming up, and I was excited to see him in this, where he does do a great job as well. And in Servant, I just love his character Julian as well. He's always making me laugh, and I think he's just a great actor. So I'm hoping to see more of him in the future. I definitely think he deserves more roles. And after this movie, I think that people will see he is definitely an actor that should be up there getting more roles for sure. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Batiste. Everybody here involved was great as well, like I said. It is definitely one of those movies that is going to be interesting to see. Oh yeah, that's what I've been hearing about Old, is the ending. which was something I was thinking about with Knock at the Cabin was going to happen, and I was surprised how straightforward it really is compared to M. Night's previous stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been hearing about Old, is that ending. They say like just go into it knowing it's like crazy, but just know it gets crazier by the end. But I don't know. I want to check it out because I think that's the only M. Night movie I haven't watched, besides the last Airbender movie he did. But like I was a fan of Signs, and like I was a fan of all of his earlier stuff as well. So I was kind of hoping that Knock at the Cabin would bring me back to M. Night, and I think it did. I think it did make me want to go revisit his work again, because it's been a while since I've watched a lot of his movies. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do next. Apparently, he says he has 3 projects already worked out, and I don't know. Knock at the Cabin and Servant have been pretty good so far, so I'm excited to see what he has cooked up next. But yeah, I'm excited for that. But we do have some other videos we're going to be working on this. We're still trying to catch up with the Sundance reviews that we have to do as well. We do have some movies from Shudder we want to talk about. There's another horror movie that's releasing next week called The Outwaters, which we might be able to watch early. So I will be making a video on that to let y'all know how that is. It's one of those other movies they're calling the scariest movie of 2023. So we'll see if it is the scariest movie of 2023 like they're saying, but hopefully we'll be able to watch that this week. And I think it comes out next week in theaters, and then the week after that it comes on streaming. So we'll be talking about that movie for sure if we're able to catch the screener. We just watched another movie that's a horror movie with Jenna Malone, which is coming out on streaming, and we will have a review for that out on Thursday. I believe it's called, you know what, let me look it up because I don't want to mess up the name. But we watched that this weekend, and we are going to be doing a video on that as well. And let's see, I'm just trying to see what the name is. So the Jenna Malone movie is called Consecration, and we will be making a video and talking about that one, and possibly if all things go right, because usually with these PR things it's like all a mess, we might be able to do an interview with Jenna Malone, which we are excited about doing. Yeah, The Outwaters looks insane. It reminds me of like it's giving those Blair Witch Project vibes, which I'm excited about, especially the marketing they're doing on Twitter and on Instagram, sending these like weird packages to people and everything. It looks insane. So I'm hoping that we are able to watch that this week and possibly do an interview with the director as well, which is something we're still trying to plan out. Yeah, there should be a trailer for Consecration. Let me see if I can find it here and share it. But I think there should be a trailer. Let's see. Yeah, so there is a trailer. So I'm going to share it on the chat here. Yeah, so this is the trailer for Consecration. We did get to watch it, and it's a very interesting movie. Definitely one that I think gave me vibes of like Suspiria, if you've ever watched Suspiria. So definitely an interesting movie, and we will be having a review and everything out for that this week, so stay tuned for that one. But yeah, we got a lot of videos we have planned releasing. Like, we still want to pull out all of these Sundance reviews, that way we don't get like behind on all of them. Yeah, that's the package that people are receiving that says that we all die in the dark, and it has like some like USB or something. I think a lot of the bigger publications like Bloody Disgusting and like the Fangoria, like bigger outlets, are getting those packages that say that and have all of this like weird cryptic stuff. The Outwaters, that comes out next week in theaters, and then it will go straight to streaming after that. I think it's like only out for a weekend or two, like Skinamarink was, which Skinamarink comes out on streaming tomorrow. So yeah, they're doing like the same sort of campaign, sort of like marketing that they did with that one. So we're definitely interested in covering that one, because that trailer really got to me, and I'm excited to see how that's going to be for sure. But yeah, like I said, we do have our Knock at the Cabin spoiler video coming out tomorrow. After that, we're going to be releasing all of our Sundance reviews, so it might be 2 to 3 reviews. We're working on more shorts as well. We're trying to find a format for shorts that works right now. We tried something new today, but I don't know. I didn't really like that new format, so we're gonna try and figure out this format and see a better one that works for shorts, because shorts are tricky and we do want to do something with them. So yeah, we'll have the Knock at the Cabin spoiler tomorrow. Then we'll do the Sundance reviews. We'll have 2 to 3 a day until we get done with those. If we do 2 to 3, we could be done by Friday, releasing all of the movies we watched at Sundance, and then just get back to the other screeners we have right now from Shudder and the other movies as well. So we got a ton planned to get out and all of that. And also, like I said, we will have a Patreon update video to talk about how all the Patreon things will work as well. So a lot is coming from us, so we're definitely excited for this and can't wait to move on to the next step to make this site bigger and better and more content for everybody. So very excited, and thank you to everyone joining here, May Ann, Jeffrey, anybody else who watched it, anybody who is watching it after. Appreciate you. Like I said, we're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We're less than 4,000 away. That's our next big goal right now, and really appreciate each and every one of you. But yeah, we got a ton of stuff planned and can't wait. So as always, thank you for joining in. Little horror chat here. We'll definitely do a live tomorrow at the same time we usually do, like in the afternoon. So stay tuned for that. But as always, that is going to do it for me. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe and stay positive.